The Kia ProCeed is a mix of station wagon and coupe. As a so-called shooting brake, the ProCeed offers the benefits of a station wagon and the extraordinary look of a coupe.
Welcome to Spain and the area of Barcelona, and even though it looks sunny, it is freezing cold up here. But nevertheless, today we're going to drive the brand new top model of the Kia Ceed series, which is the new Kia ProCeed, and in our case it's the top version, the GT. This is a 5-door shooting brake in the compact segment, and how it drives, what else it delivers and where it's weak, let's find out now. The bonnet and the fender of the Kia ProCeed is exactly the same as with the standard Kia Ceed, but the ProCeed features a completely new front bumper, and with that one, even though it's exactly the same width as the standard Ceed, the car looks even more wide and more sporty on the road. And to give the car the extra sporty look, we do find very often glossy elements like here and here, just to give him the extra kick. And very important with the car, it comes as standard with full LED headlamps and LED daytime running lights. And what I really like is these four single lamps here, because that reminds me a bit to the so-called ice cube design of the old Kia Ceed GT. And to give our version, the GT, the extra kick, you do find red elements right here, and you do find this red stripe here at the front wing, just to give the car the extra sporty look and to identify it as the GT. The ProCeed comes in the trim level GT line as standard with 17-inch alloys. Our top version, the GT, comes with 18-inch, which you can of course order as well for the GT line if you want. The car overall is 4.61 meters long, and that means it's about 30 centimeters longer as a standard Ceed. And very important, it's only 1.42 meters low or high. And that makes this car one of the lowest, maybe the lowest in its segment. And very important, that together makes it look so long, so stretched and so sporty. And to underline that, we do find this red line here at the side, as we already saw at the front. And very important with that car is the roof line. We're talking about a shooting brake, so the roof drops slightly to the rear of the car, and this look is underlined by this element here, which really makes the glass look even thinner. And so I think that really gives the car a very sporty kick. And then very important, when you come to the rear, we have a very flat rear window, and we have this very thin tail lights. And I think that reminds me a bit to the Porsche Panamera, which I think for a compact car, it's not too bad. Very important, they come as standard in full LED. And then of course you find the ProCeed sign here, and we do have these chrome exhausts, but they are fake, very important. But I think overall, when you look at the rear of the car, it really looks very sporty for a, let's say, sporty estate. And one thing, I think you never find this at any other car in that segment, is we have this here, which is illuminated. Normally it's just a reflector, but with the Kia ProCeed, that's real light. And I think that's really something very nice and interesting as well. Our test car features the most powerful engine which is actually available for the ProCeed, and that is the 1.6 liter turbo petrol engine, and that features 150 kilowatts or 204 horsepower and a maximum torque of 265 Newton meters. And in our car, it is combined with a 7-speed automatic gearbox. And if you want to drive that car, let's say, a bit more sporty, you have to put into account that even when you drive in sports mode and you just push the pedal to the metal, it takes a moment until the revs are there, and until then the car starts accelerating. If you really want to give the car the kick, you should use the pedals here at the steering wheel, because then you can choose the gear before you enter the curve or the bend, and if you then accelerate, the car instantly pushes forward, and that really then gives you the fun you're looking for. There are 3 different engines available for the new ProCeed, which is one diesel. It's a 1.6 liter engine that delivers 136 horsepower, and then we have 2 petrol versions. The smaller one is a 1.4 liter that delivers 140 horsepower, and the top version we're driving, which is the 1.6 liter, and that then offers 204 horsepower. Very important, for all the cars you can choose between a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 7-speed DSG, and all these cars of course are front wheel powered. The noise level inside of the ProCeed, I think, is absolutely fine for a compact car, and very nice is that you always hear a little bit of a yeah, sporty sound from the engine, even if you drive in standard mode. But if you then put the car into sports mode and drives it into the revs where it's really fun to drive, then you get the revs sound, so the engine sound you want on top as well. Thanks to the special shape of the ProCeed, the Mercedes CLA shooting brake is basically the only real competitor of the Kia. But with a starting price of over 31,000 euros, the Mercedes is about 8,000 euros more expensive than the base of the ProCeed. In addition, at Mercedes you have to pay for a lot of special equipment, which comes with a Kia's base. Even though the ProCeed really features a very modern and stylish design, it also offers the boot size of a real estate, because with the rear seats up, the luggage compartment features 594 liters of maximum capacity. If you fold down the rear seats, that increases up to 1,545 liters, so really a big number. And very important, we do have these hinges here, and we do have the system to really keep your luggage in position safely and secure. And what I really like is underfloor, you have an extra compartment here and another quite deep compartment here. And this is something I really like, because you can put stuff in there which will not roll around while driving. So that's a very nice feature as well. The boot of the Kia wins the comparison. With 495 liters of load capacity, the CLA shooting brake offers about 100 liters less when the rear seats are up. The maximum capacity of up to 1,354 liters of the CLA is about 200 liters less than at the ProCeed. The space the ProCeed offers for the driver and co-driver is absolutely fine. Even me, as a tall person with nearly 2 meters, I do really sit comfortably in the car. And very important, I can pull the steering wheel quite close to me, so I have the car under perfect control. Important is, we do not have the optional sunroof mounted. So I do have some space left here, but if you're a tall person, you want to order the sunroof, you better try that before you tick the box for this extra, because there's not so much space left. But I think more important is behind me, there's not so much space, but I'm not a standard person. But I had a closer look inside of a car of a colleague of mine, which is about 1.85 m, and I think behind him an adult can easily and comfortably take place. Let's talk about the materials and the craftsmanship inside of the car. And I have to say, you will find loads of soft touch materials inside of the car. You'll find it here at the doors, you find it at the dashboard, you find it here at the lower side of the dashboard as well, and on top you do have leather. And we only have plastic down here around the gear knob, and a little bit more into the center console. But very important, here we do find glossy black as well, which looks absolutely great. It's a bit sensitive, but it really looks very nice. And on top of this, with our car, we do have this very nice red stitching here, for instance, at the steering wheel, at the gear shift knob, and on this leather seats, which are a standard in our GT. And I really have to say that lifts the level of the interior a lot. The standard equipment of the Kia ProCeed is really great. Already the base model offers a heated leather steering wheel, a high beam assistant, a cruise control, a rear view camera and more. The standard assistance systems coming with the base model are very comprehensive. It includes, for example, a fatigue detection, an active lane assist, a cross traffic alert and a front collision assist with pedestrian detection. Our GT variant also offers an electric tailgate, a heated windscreen, partial leather sports seat, wireless charging for mobile devices and many more. Kia says the 1.6 liter engine should take 7.1 liter per 100 kilometer driven in average. But that's the NEF-set number, not the WLTP. And we didn't reach that number during our test drive, but I have to say we drove quite sporty. So our car took a bit more than 11 liters per 100 kilometer driven, but inside of the computer of the car there was a long run number as well, and that was 10.1. So I think if you drive the car a bit more easy, you could easily reach a number beneath 10. And I think for a car of that size, for a car of that amount of power, that's a reasonable number. The seats inside of the ProCeed really do deliver loads of comfort, and they're still quite comfortable. And this support is very important if you want to drive the car more sporty. And then not only the seats work really great, also the rest of the car really does a good job, because the combination of steering, suspension, gearbox and engine really works very well. And when you then push the button for the extra sports mode, the car completely gets a bit more crisp, and then you can really have great fun with it. So it's always very nice to drive. You always have the feeling of having the car under perfect control, and it's really, really nice. And very important is on the other way, of course, if you have one of these super sports compact cars like a car with 300 horsepower, yes, that's more sporty than this one here. But on the other hand, if you only want to have a very sporty estate, that car delivers more than you need. That was my test drive with the new Kia ProCeed GT. And if I have to say what's the downside of the car, the only wish I can make is I would love to see a bigger engine in that car to give me more power, because then it will deliver even more driving pleasure. But on the other hand, Kia really managed it to put all the practicability and all the space of an estate into a very, very nice shell. On the other hand, there is on top the price of the car, because the base model, the GT line with a small engine, starts in Germany at a little bit less than 28,000 euros. Our car, the GT version with the big 204 horsepower engine and the automatic gearbox, starts at a little bit more than 33,000 euros. And I think these are very, very good arguments for two very nice cars.